By the time this airs, there will be no more City Winery on Varick Street.
On Varick Street.
Yeah.
We're going to be spread out.
Can you go into details? There's a lot of speculations and stories as to why you ended up moving out of here early and everything that went down with Disney, to set the record straight.
Sure. We'll make this program where we set the record straight. But hopefully Supreme Court of New York will set it straight. But
yeah, because you just built this room we're in right
where
now.
We are,
This is the loft we're in right now.
Right, which is a really cool
it's a beautiful room. I would love to play here. I never have.
Well, we're building a new loft in a new location too. So, one of the things, the great news of us moving, and I'll get to the meat in a second of your question, but
are you bummed? Were you bummed about it? Well, at first probably, but
no, really not. Since we've built all these other city wineries now,
you just knew you could do it.
We knew we could. There's so many improvements to everything we did after New York, including having a room like this in a bunch of our other markets, and having a kitchen and closer to where people are eating, and a front door when you don't walk into a show and disturb it, right? Like you walk into more of a lobby. So all of our other locations are much, much smarter design. And so I've been excited to move and really take that 10 years of experience and move it into a new location for sure. So that part I'm not crying at all about. I am pissed off at Trinity Church because they screwed us on this space that we're in right now. So we've been in.
Careful.
Yeah,
that's Jesus, people.
No, man, that's okay. And I'll
He's a Jew.
I'm just kidding. Man.
There's only a few.
This battle is 3,000 years old.
We've been going at this for a while, but so I've had a good relationship with Trinity Church from the time we signed our lease. And when we signed the lease 11 years ago, there was a demolition clause in there that said in any time 1 year advance notice, they can tell us with certain other buildings coming down next to us, but that they can demo the block. And in exchange for having that demolition clause in, we had a fair market value on the property, and
Does that mean after 2 years they could have given you a year notice and it would have been done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 10 years went by, no demolition clause, good relationship with church. We actually made sacramental wine 6 years ago with the rector, and that was
a lot
cool.
Of good that did you.
Yeah. And we had a good relationship. Then about a year and a half ago, my buddy says, "Hey, do you want the second floor? It's becoming available. We'll do a 5-year lease extension to downstairs and give you the upstairs." And I'm like, "Well, what about the demolition clause?" He goes, "It's the same thing. I mean, the likelihood is very low that we're going to demo, but at a minimum, we'll give you 3 years, orally. But the template, the contract, all our leases throughout all the Hudson Square properties, all their buildings have a 1-year demolition clause. Yeah. It's just standard protocol. It's part of the lease." And I'm like, "All right, so you're saying 3 years." And then I'm doing calculations and go, "Well, it's going to take us about $2 million.
But real quick, 1 year demolition clause, that means that if that means they give you 1 year warning.
1 year notice, and then they're going to demolish the building.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So
I know you already said that, but I just
but no, let's be clear. It's 1 year notice.
Okay.
And so, buyer beware, right?
Right.
So we sign a new 5-year lease.
That's heady, man. When especially you just said, okay, yeah, we've done this all over the country. We know how to do this. This is cool. But for a young upstart, that's just a heady thing. It's already so risky opening up a business of any sort.
And then to have this.
And then to have that also hanging over. That's
Well, the good news is we just signed this 25-year lease at the pier, and there's no demolition clause. So, that's good. But this went into it, had the clause. But here's a guy who I've formed a relationship with for 10 years. He's from the church, right? And when you talk to a guy from the church, usually you would think they're going to be honest, right? And a mensch and above board.
He already knew about the Disney thing?
And they must have known. And,
that's fucked up.
Yeah, and so they signed a new 5-year deal. And in the lease terms, it said there's a 1-year demo, but the first $2 million that was going to come in terms of a payment for rent, we get to keep to cover the cost of our renovation. And we have emails that go, it's going to take us 3 years to get those couple $1 million back. So we have in writing my saying it's going to take us 3 years minimally. We need, and it says, hey, John, we need 3 years. Are we going to for sure have 3 years? And he's like, yeah, you're going to for sure have 3 years. No problem. You probably have all 5 years, just like you had all 10, but but don't worry about the demo clause. Boom, we start construction.
This barely was built before that
announced.
Word
boom,
already got out. Because I remember Shlomo brought me up here to see it. It still smelled like new construction. The next thing I know,
boom, we're out of here.
Disney's
so
buying
how
this
far
place.
into construction did they tell you?
So
we
ended up getting. We've probably had an operating year instead of 3. Mm-hmm. So we're probably like $1.8 million or whatever in the hole on the second floor. Disney is not the bad guy here at all. Disney, got a 99-year lease from Trinity Church. Trinity Church didn't say, hey, we screwed over this one tenant, by the way. And, they just said, you're getting all of these buildings, this entire square city block for 99 years. Thank you, $650 million for it.
Damn.
And
what's Disney going to do with this?
So this is going to become the new East Coast headquarters, and all those like the ABC Studios and ESPN and all of those things will be taking place here.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
so
were you not originally supposed to get till January 1st, 2020?
So the original conversations with Trinity when they initially broke the news was, listen, you're going to get the demo clause soon, and we're going to get you to January, which was really about 18 months from the time they said that. And so, start looking fast, and 18 months, we're probably going to hit the 18 months from the time they mentioned it. I looked at 100 places right away, really went all over looking and feel very blessed to have found a spot that we are. It's a lot of money, but it's a great spot. But we could have used the extra time.
Are you going to get is there a legal battle or anything about it?
Yeah, so, again, Disney did actually the right thing, right? They for sure need to build this project here. And we're the only tenant that had this particular issue with Trinity Church. So they said, listen, we don't want you to get involved, in a protracted
lawsuit
problem because we need you out of here. If you sign a document with us that says for sure you're going to be done on August 1st, 2019, we're going to give you some money.
Right.
And
that's nice.
So that was
That's nothing for them.
But
that's but it's, yeah.
It was right. They needed to do
right
it. They
thing to
didn't,
do.
because if we were a holdover tenant, even for 3 or 4 months,
That
to
messes them
slow up, this is going to be a $2 billion building right? That would be bad. So Trinity gave us a couple shekels, but it certainly doesn't make up for what we need. And I've got 5 months of payroll with a lot of people that need work. So it's not just a loss
so
now.
It's all kind of good in a way.
I'm trying to look at this one very much as a half glass full.
It seems like a good thing. The new space is going to be better.
It's going to be so cool. It's a great space. Not a single column in anyone's view.
There you go.